I read in 2022. I read 10 books. JayCeon, don't scrutinize me. This is the first book I read. My boyfriend actually picked this out for me. August 18th to August 19th of 2022. I read this in one day. Why She Went Through 7 Husbands. I really love this book. The books have been better than the movies. Videos showing me reading the books of other movies that I've watched and rating those. And ooh, this paperback feels so good. I love this book. I love this book. It's about Lily. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys all the books I read in 2022 because I want you guys to know like the books I've read so far. So when you give me recommendations, you can see the books I've read already if you go back to my book video. So this is all the books I've read in 2022. I read 10 books because I actually have another one that I gave to my son to play around with when he was first interested in books. So I read 10 books in 2022. That's when I first started reading, and I'm just going to take you guys through them and tell you what I rated them on my Goodreads. Follow my Goodreads, is linked down below. So this is the first book I read. It's called Saint X by Alexis Shadikin. Don't scrutinize me. This is the first book I read. My boyfriend actually picked this out for me. I first started it March 3rd of 2022, and I didn't finish it until June 6th of 2022 because I wasn't sure if I liked reading. I told you guys my first book I ever read was kind of like iffy, so I gave this a 3 stars on Goodreads. They actually just came out with the Hulu show and I'm watching it, and honestly I feel like the show is better than the book. I just didn't like the ending or whatever, but the show still kind of sucks because the show rushes everything. Like in the book, you know, it takes their time to tell you this and that, but in the show it's giving flashbacks and present tense and future. It's just too much going on in the show. But I didn't really like the book that much, but now that I watched the show, I like the book more than I did, but I still didn't really like it that much. But this is about, I'm not gonna read you the whole thing. Claire is only 7 years old when her college-age sister Allison disappears on the last night of their family vacation at the resort on the Caribbean island of St. X. Several days later, Allison's body is found in a remote spot on a nearby cay, and 2 men employees at the resort are arrested. So I gave this a 3 stars. It was good for my first book. It just wasn't that interesting, so that's why it took me so long to read it, because I wasn't really reading it. I was just like going in and out of it. So yes, St. X was my first book. My next book was November 9 by Colleen Hoover. This is my first Colleen Hoover book, and I read this from August 18th to August 19th of 2022. I read this in one day, well, 2 days, but one day because it was just so good. This was very easy to read. I really enjoyed it. Basically, it's about Fallon meets Ben, an aspiring novelist, the day before her scheduled cross-country move. Their untimely attraction leads them to spend Fallon's last day in LA together, and her eventful life becomes the creative inspiration Ben has always sought for his novel. Over time, and amidst the various relationships and tribulations of their own separate lives, they continue to meet on the same day every year. So one day, Fallon becomes unsure if Ben has been telling her the truth or fabricating a perfect reality for the sake of the ultimate plot twist. So I read this in one day. This is really good. I gave this a 5 stars because I really love this book. This is a really good, interesting book by her. The next book I read was The Fault in Our Stars. I watched the movie years ago and I really loved the movie, so it made me want to read the book, and the book was amazing. I gave this 5 stars as well. I read this from August 20th to September 13th, and I was really enjoying it. The book was definitely better than the movie. The book made me picture things in the movie, and I actually almost cried in this book at some parts. Basically, this is about, despite the tumor-shrieking medical miracle that has brought her a few years, Hazel has never been anything but terminal. Her final chapter inscribed upon diagnosis, but when a gorgeous plot twist named Augustus Waters suddenly appears at Cancer Kids support group, Hazel's story is about to be completely rewritten. This was so beautiful. I love the movie. I love the book. So yes, this is Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I really loved his book. Next was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is another 5-star book. I read this from September 13th to September 27th. This was about a reclusive Hollywood icon, Evelyn Hugo, is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. When she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself, basing the 50s to the 80s and talking about her in show business and why she went through 7 husbands. I really love this book. When I first started reading reading, I was reading very amazing books, and this is a really good book filled with plot twists that I didn't see coming. Definitely love this book. The next book was actually Paper Towns. It's also by John Green, the same as The Fault in Our Stars. I've seen the movie Paper Towns like everywhere. I just never watched it, so I read the book first, and now I'm gonna watch the movie. And the book was really good. It just like, I hate books that don't give you like a reason for why stuff is happening. So I gave it 3 stars because it was good, but I needed a reason like why this happening. I didn't really get it though. It was a good read, good quick read. I read that book from September 27th to October 6th. 3 stars, like I said. I gave DeShawn the book, so I don't have it physically with me, but I popped the picture right here. It was okay. I just don't like when the book doesn't tell me why. Stuff just happens, but I need to know why. I'm that type of reader. Next was 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I watched this series on Netflix. That's what made me want to pick up the book. I gave this book 5 stars. It was really good. I haven't watched the series since it first came out, so when I read this book, it jogged. I really didn't remember much of the series, so this is a really good book. It says Clay Jensen doesn't want anything to do with the tapes Hannah Baker made. Hannah is dead. Her secret should be buried with her. Then Hannah's voice tells Clay that his name is on her tapes and that he is in some way responsible for her death. All through the night, Clay keeps listening. He follows Hannah's recorded words throughout his small town, and what he discovered changes his life forever. This was really good. It was sad, but it was really good, so that's why I gave it 5 stars. I love this. It made me want to rewatch the series, but so far the books have been better than the movies. I think I'm gonna do a book video showing me reading the books of other movies that I've watched and rating those. So I've seen a lot of half-price books that I wanted to read that I already seen the movies for. So I think I'm gonna do that for a video. Okay, so I have to dive back into Colleen Hoover. So I read another book by her, It Ends With Us, and I read this in a week. I read this October 11th through October 17th. I must have had some stuff going on because her books are really easy to read, and ooh, this paperback feels so good. I've been reading on my Kindle, and I'm reading a hardback book right now, so this feels really good. I gave this 5 stars. I love this book. I love this book. It's about Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from the small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, have a soft spot for Lily. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm, so do thoughts of Atlas, her first love, a link to the past she left behind. He was Kennard's spirit and her protector. When Alice suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. This was a really good book. It had a lot of different things going on in here that made me want to keep reading, and gave it 5 stars. Couldn't put it down. I had to immediately, I read that book because this one was coming out, so I had to hurry up and read that book, and then I read this book. This is Atlas' point of view, so we got more of Atlas in this book. I read this from October 18th to the 23rd. I read this right after this one. Colleen Hoover books are really easy and quick to read. So basically this is about Atlas and Lily and how their life's going and stuff like that. So I gave this 5 stars. It was just as good as the first book. I really love that. Next, I read One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I love this series. In my next book video, I'll talk about the second book, and she has the 3rd one coming out. I'm definitely gonna get it. I rated this 5 stars. It's basically someone dies in high school and they're all in the same room as him in detention, and basically everyone's trying to pin it on everyone that was in the room. This is very interesting. I love her writing. I love this series. I read the second book and I gave this 5 stars because it kept me in. It kept me drawn in. I don't have the dates for when I read this, but I know it was quick because this was one of my first mystery books besides my first book I ever read. I don't know if this is mystery or thriller, but this was really good. Definitely love this series. Can't wait to read the last one. Okay, after that, I started this series. I seen this on Netflix and I never watched it, so I read the books first. It's called To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. There aren't love letters that anyone else wrote for her. They are the ones she's written. One for every boy she ever loved, 5 in all. When she writes, she can pour out her soul and heart and say all the things she would never say in real life, because her letters are for her eyes only. Until the day her secret letters are mailed, and suddenly Laura Jean love life goes from imaginary to out of control. I gave this 5 stars. Love the series. Read all of the books. Watched the show on Netflix. Didn't like the show. I definitely prefer the book. So yeah, I gave the book 5 stars, and that's gonna bring me to my first half of 2023 books. That's gonna be in some videos after this. I'm about to record it, all the books I've read in 2023 so far. So I hope you guys enjoy this book called haul of all the books I've read in 2022. These are all the beautiful books and I love them so much, and this was the year that really got me into reading. I know this year's wrap up will definitely have at least 50 books because I've been reading a lot lately. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down some recommendations for me. There's a lot of romance in here, a lot of just interesting genres, but I want to get into more other genres. So comment down below your favorite books, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.